Hey everybody, I just did a video on my slipped lap band, and if you're interested to know what's going on with that, check out that video. This video is going to be about 6 months with no restriction and what that's been like. A quick recap. Okay, a quick recap of what's been going on and why this 6 months with no restriction. I was preparing in February for some surgery, and I was going to be under general anesthesia, and I did not want to have a big fill because I was having issues with reflux. See previous videos. So the first week or so of February, I went in and they took me down to what I believe to be 2 cc's. See previous videos. I had my surgery on February 10th, went in a few weeks later. I think he took me back up to about 3.25. My memory fails me at this point. I should have looked it up, but I didn't. Reflux started. And in April, I had a swallow study, and my band, instead of setting at a 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock angle, was closer to a 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock angle. Not good, slipped band. My surgeon believes that even taking all the fluid out and waiting a while and replacing it doesn't fix a slipped band. It's obviously pulled the sutures or whatever, and that's not going to totally fix itself if it's a true slipped band. So he said everything comes out. Everything came out. I went back for a follow-up appointment thinking that he would give me a fill, and then even if I needed surgery, I thought he could give me a fill. He would not give me a fill. Said there's no need for a fill. We don't need to aggravate a situation that potentially could cause erosion, blah, 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 blah. I'm good with that, and I do appreciate that. So February and March, I had 2 cc's, very little restriction. Sometime in April, May, June, July, August, past 4 months, I have had 0 cc's. Now let me tell you what that's been like. Initially, I was going to save the world, and I was going to rock this thing, and I was going to prove that I didn't need restriction, that I had come so far. I was on like a momentum kind of deal where, I could do it. I'd lost 80 some pounds, and, I was tough and I'd get through this. Okay, so initially that worked, and I don't know, I did what I do when I'm usually trying to be successful, and I look for things that work, and it was kind of fun. It was figuring things out. I like processes and trying this and trying that, so I tried a little bit of, well, let's see, what did I do? First, I tried my lap band rules, and, protein first, stick with the cup, everything that you all know. While that was pretty easy for me to do when I had restriction, not so easy to do when I didn't have restriction. And I'll tell you why in a minute, because everything that I tried in the end comes back to this one thing. So I joined Weight Watchers. Cool, this was new. It was something else I could try and piece together. Like I said, I like keeping track, and I like doing that kind of stuff. I hate to count calories, but don't ask me what the difference is between counting calories and counting Weight Watcher points. But anyway, I was going to do Weight Watchers, and it was going to be great. And I was going to stay in check. And ended up, not necessarily because I wasn't doing so hot at Weight Watchers. I lost a couple pounds and maintained for the 4 weeks that I was there. But I had joined towards the end of what they call a 6-week session on Weight Watchers at Work program thing. And at the end of the 16-week session, you have to rejoin. Well, I wasn't expecting that I was going to go, 6 months to a year, whatever, with no fill. So I didn't want to spend the $180 some to join back up. So I dropped out of Weight Watchers and didn't sign up for the next session. So I gained a few pounds, and then at that point I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to revert to some non-conventional ideas here for my trusty old lap band. And I decided that I would count calories. So I started counting calories, and the first week I pretty much sucked because I hated it and I didn't want to do it, and I had a blah 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 about it attitude. Second week I was determined, wrote down everything, kept track, and made myself abide. I was going for 1,100 calories a day. Doesn't take me 800 calories a day to lose weight. I can eat and lose weight. And that was the great thing about the lap band for me, is I could still eat fairly healthfully, if that's a word, and do it. So anyway, I'm taking in about 1,100 calories a day. I'm finding a way to get in a little snack or something, and I'm losing the 6 pounds that I gained in 1 week. I've lost it. So I'm doing that. Second week's okay, I maintain. Third week, I'm like, okay, this sucks, and I'll tell you why. I'll go back to that in a minute. So then I'm gonna do carbs, and tried carbs. Carbs was all right, a lot of work to convert everything with net carbs to total carbs or whatever, after you subtract your fiber out of there. And anyway, it's not easy. And I've done poor at it the past probably 2 months. I suck. I find that my eating habits are picking up like what I had before I was banded. Now, let me tell you about what a typical day's like for me. My portion size is good, which was one of the problems I sort of had before the band, and that's why I thought the band would be good for me, was because portion control was an issue. An example, I'm not sure if you've seen the little plastic pack of tuna, and it has a little bitty can of tuna in it and some crackers. The other day for lunch, I had one of those. I threw the crackers out. I don't like crackers, or at least not that type of cracker. And I ate the little can of tuna, and I brought a fresh garden tomato, and I sliced that. I was so full when I got done with that it wasn't even funny, and it was just that little bitty, like a half a cup of tuna and a tomato. And I didn't have much breakfast. For breakfast, I'm still doing the sausage patty, and then I have a mocha, which I know the mochas are an issue. That's 260 calories right there. That was a good thing about counting calories, that put that into perspective. So anyway, okay, so portion control for my actual meals is good. What sucks is, and I get full. My band helps me realize I'm full. Okay, what sucks is that I get hungry within an hour, 45 minutes after mealtime. Now, hunger, let's talk about that. Is it head hunger? Yeah. Is it stomach hunger? Yeah. I have both. My stomach at sometimes feels gnarly and growls, and it tells me it wants food. Hurt isn't the right word, but it's hunger, real hunger. And sometimes it's weird because I just ate what I've been used to eating the past 2 years. For instance, that tuna. I feel full, and then it's strange to me that in an hour my tummy is growling and telling me, sending me hunger signals. Now, I don't consider that head hunger. The head hunger that I have, I guess it's head hunger, it's poor decision making. Okay, so I'm busy, I haven't planned well, and I know planning for me is highly important, except sometimes, that's a whole nother topic. Let's stick with one. So let's say that I have eaten tuna, we'll use that for the example, eaten a meal that was the right portion size. An hour later, I'm hungry. I make a bad decision. I go for whatever I think is going to feel good and filling in that stomach. And those choices typically aren't things that are good for me. And I made a list of some of the stupid things, and I want to talk about that too. Some of the stupid things that I've been choosing, okay? And I look forward to it. I'm craving stuff like cupcakes, donuts, not like bakery donuts, but the little packages like you buy in a convenience store, those 6 chocolate donuts, little bitty donuts in a pack. I was on an M&M kick for about 4 days where every day I had to have 2 of the packages that you buy at the checkout counter. I'd eat 2 because I couldn't decide if I wanted the pretzel, which is 150 calories, or the peanut butter, which was a lot more. So I got both. Popcorn, this is a PMS old favorite of mine, and I had this week. Popcorn, and in it I put white chocolate chips that melted on it, sugar, salt thing. That kind of thing. So it's not that I'm eating 4 pieces of pizza, or it's just that when I get hungry, I'm choosing bad things. Now, where I think the head hunger comes in when I'm really having hunger is that even if I prepare myself with a good choice, most often the good choice isn't appealing, and so I'm just ignoring the fact that I've got it in my lunchbox in the back seat of the car, and I'm stopping at a convenience store and even tricking myself to say, screw what's in your lunchbox, you know, your cheese sticks or your yogurt or whatever it might be. So that's my issues right now. And it's difficult without the restriction. Even though I have restriction to tell me my meal's enough, it doesn't stay with me. In fact, I can feel it through my band. If I wait an hour to drink, when I drink, I can feel that drink go through my stomach, through my stoma, along with the food that's left in it. And that's all she wrote. So, it's a mind game. It's a discipline game. I can't figure out why I don't have the self-discipline right now to do it. Maybe I'm pissed off and maybe, punishing myself because I'm mad about this whole thing. I don't know. But it sucks. So, anyway, I have to make it to the 24th, and then we'll see what happens. So I will either come out newly fixed, or I'll go 2 more months with no restriction. So that's August, September, October. So maybe October I will have a new band. And in the meantime, I've got to figure out what to do to keep myself on track. Otherwise, I'm going to gain weight. And that's not what I want to do. I do not want to gain a bunch of weight and then have to start losing again, and have 30 pounds or something ridiculous to lose to get back to where I was. So, anyway, I have been thinking, and I've been too busy to call. I think I'm going to call and make an appointment with my psychologist person at my surgeon's office. They're in the same hallway, so that I can talk through some of this, and maybe he can help me figure out, why I just continue to make bad choices. So, anyway, don't mess around with your bands. You're probably tired of hearing me say that, but don't mess around with your bands. Don't get yourself in a pickle. I don't know what to say about the flu. You can't help it. You can't help when you get the flu. I'm going to find out if there's something to have on hand. I wish that there was, and that everybody could keep it on hand to prevent vomiting and nausea. So, anyway, I will survive because I am a survivor, and I will get through this, and face the facts. If I'm carrying 10 or 15 extra pounds, that's what it is, and I will get it off. But I just want this time to move forward and get to August 24th and then get to October. So now I've been thinking all day, what's my strategy going to be this week? What am I going to do that might motivate me to keep my head in the game and make wise decisions? And I don't know what that is, but I'll figure it out. So water's good. Water's excellent. 64 or more a day, not a problem. I can gulp that shit down. Exercise, this week. I'm a moderate exerciser. I'm not an intense exerciser, but that's about the same as it's always been. I could knock that up a notch probably. I'll be glad when Zumba's back in session. It's just the poor choices for crap-assy food in between meals. And at night, I can eat clear up till the time I get in bed. I could probably lay in bed and eat. I don't, of course, but I probably could with no issues. So, anyway, that is my story of 6 months with no restriction with a band. Which makes me wonder how I'd do with a sleeve. What if I didn't have restriction? Ever. I don't know. Lots to think about. I will talk to you guys when I know more. In the meantime, hang in there, everybody. And I think it's interesting. I've seen more and more stories as a lot of us are entering this 2-year phase into issues with lap band reflux. So hopefully my story as kind of one of the pioneers in the reflux issue might help other people. I don't know. We'll see how this all turns out.